Not to add fuel to the Rachel Zegler Oscar fiasco, but why did they have these women, all Disney princesses, all stated as Disney princesses, come out to present, but like not include Rachel Zegler, who's going to be Snow White? They're clearly acknowledging Disney princesses for movies that have not been released yet. Someone must have had this conversation and then they purposely left her out, even though she was the only one with a hit movie this year of the four. Did anyone else notice this, or am I overthinking?
Right remake, mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney's. We've heard her bag the classic story before, but there's more.
2.3 million dislikes. Imagine having that much of a dedicated hater base. That's insane.
She couldn't keep her mouth shut.
Rachel Zegler didn't make a scene. She didn't throw shade. She didn't unfollow anyone or post a dramatic statement. She just disappeared.
And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay. Maybe that's a weird takeaway. Regardless, this is not supposed to be anything other than insightful entertainment. It's what I do best. Just know that I am the most grateful person alive. But I'm also keeping it real.
Not completely offline, she's still technically on social media, but in the place where it really mattered, where her career was supposed to shine the brightest, gone. Quietly erased from Disney+.
This is just pathetic. Look at this right here. Snow White scraps up a measly $12 million in opening day box office. Could have a worse weekend than The Marvels and Dumbo. Now, if you guys didn't know, The Marvels and Dumbo is the bottom of the pile when it comes to box office for Disney. Those movies lost Disney hundreds of millions of dollars, and it looks like Rachel Zegler's Snow White movie is headed in that direction. And look at this right here. Even mainstream media is calling out this movie for being garbage. Look at this right here. Woke flop Snow White could see one of Disney's sleepiest opening weekends. Listen, this movie made like $2 million on Thursday, right? Which is the previews day. Usually this is where when people come out and they go see your movie, you're supposed to have a higher number than 2 million. But bro, this movie is not going to make more than $46 million opening weekend, which is a disaster for Disney.
It sounds like you're one of the only ones there, just like Rachel Zegler, as it turns out. And we part with this video of Rachel Zegler alone in a theater watching herself. One of the most unlikable humans
That
ever.
is sadder than when the original Snow White eats the apple.
No alert, no headline, no warning. And no, this wasn't a glitch. Fans started noticing something weird. First, the Snow White movie tile, missing. Nowhere to be found. Not listed under coming soon. No trailer, no artwork, no banner, no cast section. Like the project never existed.
Women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader. And the reality is the cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of...
So she said she was scared of the original cartoon, watched it once and never picked it up again. She should have watched it a few times and maybe became more familiar with the story. And before the script went through such a dramatic change that it sounds like she had a part in, you know, Disney, and accomplished with that. Obviously, it was their production. You should have, you know, watched it a little closely and maybe stayed a little closer to the original blockbuster, wonderful story written by whoever it was, but produced by Disney.
And it got stranger. Rachel Zegler, the lead actress, the face of the film, her own Disney Plus profile, completely wiped. No credits, no headshot, no hint she'd ever worked with Disney.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have when I say that this has been the biggest adjustment of my life, like understanding the way my life operates now, being who I am, and the things that I've been so fortunate to make. It comes with so much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover, and that people think I'm doing poorly, and other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all.
You know, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
If I'm Bob Iger, you know what we're doing? Emergency meeting. We're putting Snow White on hold for 2 years, and guess what?
Smart.
Pay her a couple $1,000,000, go away. We're going to bring another person to play this role.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
It was like she had been airbrushed out of Disney's entire ecosystem. What started with a couple of Reddit users sharing screenshots quickly spiraled into a full-blown internet frenzy. Fans began checking their own apps, swapping screenshots, digging through different regions. And one thing became crystal clear. This wasn't just a quiet delay. It looked like Disney was burying Snow White hard.
One of the 18 hours I am in the Snow White dress, I expect to get paid. If it's 18 hours, I want 18 hours of pay. I'm sure she got underpaid as a Disney lead actress.
Okay, great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I a psychopath?
It has proven to be Disney's worst investment ever in the history of Disney investments. I mean, they've gone through various scandals with this girl.
No, I've been getting a lot of questions about, like, how do I feel? I feel amazing. We start kind of soon, and I'm just like...
They've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now, and how they had her tweet out like a little, "Yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her." They postponed the release of this thing, Ben, for a year because their star, Rachel Zegler, was so unlikable, where Steven Spielberg and co. were demanding that she prove how Latina she really is, since her name doesn't sound Latina, and she was angrily saying, "Did I have to bring in my little abuelita for you to believe that I was Latina?" This weird feminist thing where her heroine cannot be in love or be saved by a man, the prince, that she's more focused on becoming the leader she was meant to be, as if women in modern day America must make that choice.
Rachel Zegler made it so hateable that you really sabotaged and took hundreds of millions of dollars from the studio. I don't know how anyone would ever want to go into business with her ever again.
What is it like for you now, having all of this? I think it's a lot of pressure, right?
It's definitely a lot of pressure, but I surround very good people who keep me grounded and try to just stay as true to myself as I possibly can.
After the Snow White thing, I'm gonna be honest, I will be shocked if she gets cast in almost anything.
And here's where it really gets bizarre. This movie already hit theaters. It had its run. As messy as it was, whether people loved it or hated it, Disney had every reason to release it on streaming. That's usually how these big budget films make a comeback after a weak box office. Streaming is the redemption arc, the second shot. But this time, nothing. No updates, no premiere date, no explanation, just radio silence. It felt like someone at Disney hit the emergency stop button and never told the passengers why. And now fans are asking the question no one saw coming. Did Disney just cancel their own princess? Because let's be real, when the same company that hyped you up suddenly starts removing you like you were never there, that's not a minor PR move. That's a digital takedown. So what went down behind the scenes? What did Zegler do that made Disney hit the delete key? Let's rewind a bit, because this story didn't start with her disappearing. It started with what was supposed to be her breakout. Snow White wasn't just another movie. This was supposed to be Rachel Zegler's Hollywood coronation. Her red carpet moment, the reboot to launch a new era of Disney royalty. But almost from the jump, the film was surrounded by controversy. And at the center of the storm? Zegler herself. Clips of her press interviews went viral, but not in a good way. In one, she mocked the original Snow White story, calling it outdated and creepy. She even laughed about the prince being a stalker. In another interview, she boldly said her version of Snow White wasn't going to wait around for a man or dream about a fairy tale ending. And in yet another clip, she admitted she never liked the 1937 original, not even as a kid. That's all the internet needed to explode. Before long, woke Snow White was trending. Fans who once celebrated Zegler's casting started turning on her. Boycotts were launched. TikTok was flooded with meme edits mocking her interviews. Twitter lit up with side-by-side comparisons between Zegler and Adriana Caselotti, the voice of the original Snow White, showing just how far the remake had strayed from Disney's roots. Then came the theatrical release, and it was a disaster. Critics slammed it as dull, preachy, and weirdly self-righteous. Audiences didn't show up. The box office bombed, not just in the US, but globally. The movie was DOA, and Zegler became the face of one of Disney's biggest flops since the live-action Mulan. Some blamed the writing, others pointed at Disney's creative direction. But most of the outrage landed squarely on Zegler, because in the eyes of many fans, this wasn't just a bad remake. It was a betrayal of Disney's legacy. And the person delivering that message? Rachel Zegler, loud and clear. Disney had a full-blown PR mess on their hands, and before the dust could even settle, they made a move that shocked everyone. But it didn't stop there, because just when fans thought the chaos was over, they noticed something else. The movie was missing from Disney+. At first, people assumed it was just a delay. A lot of Disney films take a few weeks after theaters to hit streaming, but this one felt different. Weeks turned into months, and still no Snow White, no banner, no poster, no "Watch Now" button. The digital version had just vanished, like it was never supposed to be released. And here's where it gets even more suspicious. Rachel Zegler's Disney Plus actor profile, you know, that official page that shows all the Disney movies and shows someone's been in, that disappeared too. Her name? Gone. Her face? Gone. Her film credits? Scrubbed clean. Fans on Reddit started comparing old screenshots to what they saw now. It wasn't just an isolated bug. This was happening in real time, across different accounts and even different countries. In some cases, people could still find her name in search. But when they clicked it, blank page, redirect, error, it was like she'd been shadow deleted from the platform entirely. And just like that, Rachel Zegler, Disney's once rising star, was getting digitally erased. In the Disney Plus group pages where Snow White once proudly stood, something eerie happened. Rachel Zegler's image was quietly swapped out. Some were replaced with generic filler images. Others left completely blank. It didn't take long before fan theories erupted like wildfire. One of the biggest? Disney wasn't just ignoring the backlash, they were strategically deleting her from the narrative. Some fans called it a shadow ban. Others suspected something even more calculated, a textbook example of what PR insiders call quiet dissociation. It's a soft fade, a way for corporations to back away from controversy without creating a scandal. And when it comes to a brand like Disney, one that thrives on keeping its image squeaky clean, that theory suddenly didn't sound so far-fetched. Then the real questions started piling in. Why was Rachel's profile gone when other Disney stars from box office flops were still listed? Why were her credits being removed with zero explanation? If this wasn't a punishment, what was it? And that's when another twist surfaced. Rumors that Rachel Zegler had fired her entire team. Her manager, her agent, her publicist, all gone. No press statement, no replacements announced, no PR spin. Just a clean sweep. Suddenly, it wasn't just Disney backing away from Zegler. It looked like Zegler was retreating from the industry herself. Fans were torn. Was this a meltdown? Was she rebranding? Or was Disney giving her the quiet boot and she decided to take the rest of her career with her? Either way, it was suspicious. Because let's be clear, Disney has never been shy about uploading even their most controversial films to Disney+, even when the reviews tank, even when fans are furious. The content still ends up on the platform. The stars still get their credits. The movies still get a banner. But not this one. Not Rachel. The question isn't just what happened anymore. It's why is no one talking about it? And the more you dig into it, the clearer it gets. Someone doesn't want her name on that platform anymore. And if there's one thing Disney is exceptionally good at, it's making problems disappear. Quietly, seamlessly, without ever confirming anything happened. They've done it before. Just think back to 2020. Gina Carano, after clashing with the public over controversial social posts, was swiftly scrubbed from the Mandalorian franchise. Disney didn't hold a press conference. They didn't issue a statement. They just removed her name, her action figures, her promo appearances, everything, like she was never there. Now it looks like Rachel Zegler is getting the same treatment, but with even less noise. No goodbye, no controversy statement, just silence. And for Disney, that is the strategy. They don't fight back. They don't issue denials. They pivot, quietly. And by the time people notice, the cleanup is already complete. That's why fans are calling this Disney's softest cancellation ever. No trending drama, no official fallout. Just an actress erased from the record and a film that vanished without a trace. The blueprint is clear. Step 1, let the controversy play out. Step 2, wait. Step 3, slowly scrub everything that connects the brand to the drama. Step 4, shift focus. Distract the public with safer, cleaner content. Sequels, nostalgia, remakes with low-risk stars. And Disney is already there. Instead of promoting Snow White, their homepage is now filled with safe bets, animations, family-friendly sequels, and zero mention of Zegler. Because in today's viral world, surviving backlash isn't about explaining, it's about distancing. And when a project becomes too toxic to fix, the easiest move is to pretend it never happened. So now the question is, has Rachel Zegler become the first Disney princess to ever be quietly decrowned? Let's be honest, being removed from Disney Plus without any public statement is huge. It's not just about a movie being pulled, it's about a message being sent. We're done. And if you thought Disney was finished with her, it gets worse. Around the same time she vanished from the platform, Rachel's second big career move, her Broadway debut in Evita, was spiraling out of control. What was supposed to be her big comeback started to unravel before opening night. It was meant to change the narrative, to prove she had the vocal chops and stage presence to silence the haters. For a second, it seemed like it might work. The buzz picked up. The headlines got more hopeful. But then, behind-the-scenes leaks started trickling out. Reports of chaotic rehearsals, heated arguments, crew walkouts. Sources close to the production claimed Zegler was difficult to work with, even calling the environment toxic. And then came the smoking gun, a leaked memo allegedly from the show's director, describing Zegler as uncoachable, emotionally unstable, and a challenge to manage. Broadway gossip forums exploded. Some even compared Evita to Snow White, saying the two productions were cursed by the same star. And at that point, it was impossible to ignore the pattern. Big role, media backlash, industry backlash, then silence. Rachel Zegler was no longer the Golden Girl. She was becoming a cautionary tale. To make matters worse, news broke that she had fired her entire team, her publicist, her agent, even long-term collaborators. No replacements, no transition plan, just cut and gone. Some say it's part of a rebrand, a bold reset. Others say it's a breakdown in slow motion. But whatever's going on, one thing is clear. Rachel Zegler is on her own. No studio behind her. No team to guide her, no platform promoting her, just a silence that feels heavier with every passing day. And fans are noticing every missing thumbnail, every deleted name, every blank cast list. Because whether fair or not, the perception is sinking in. Zegler's not just struggling, she's being wiped away. So the question now is this all fallout from two flops? Or is there something even bigger happening behind the scenes? We know Disney doesn't like risks, they don't like drama, and they definitely don't like controversy attached to billion-dollar brands. So when a star becomes a threat to their image, they don't scream about it. They surgically remove it. And rumors are already swirling. that Disney is working on reshoots, that alternative cuts of Snow White exist. Versions where Zegler's presence is dialed way back, or even swapped with a stand-in. It sounds wild, but not impossible. After all, this is the same company that's digitally removed actors, re-edited entire films, and pulled content without blinking. So maybe they'll bury Snow White completely. No release, no promo, no trace. Let the algorithm handle the rest. Let time do the scrubbing. It's the perfect silent exit strategy. No press headaches, no legal backlash, just nothing. Some fans even believe Disney might recast Snow White in the future. Animated, live action. Doesn't matter, they've done it before. With Marvel, with Pirates of the Caribbean, with Star Wars. This isn't new territory for them. But perhaps the most chilling sign of all? Rachel Zegler's silence. No Instagram statement, no thank you to the cast. No response to the fans wondering what happened. Just a vacuum. And in a business where every word is usually calculated, that kind of silence is louder than any speech. Because Disney doesn't have to fire you to get rid of you. They just stop acknowledging you ever existed. Rachel Zegler didn't disappear in one big public scandal. There was no fiery exit, no major drama. What happened to her is far more unsettling, a slow, quiet erasure, one missing movie at a time, one vanished profile at a time. Now, Disney Plus no longer promotes Snow White. Her name is missing, her face is gone. And outside the platform? It's not much better. Her Broadway shot collapsed. Her team is gone. Her social media? Quiet. And what might hurt the most is that no one is stepping in to stop it. No co-stars speaking up, no publicist cleaning up the mess. Not even Disney issuing a token message of support. Nothing. Because in Hollywood, controversy can be managed, flops can be forgiven, but becoming a liability? That's when the lights go off. Rachel Zegler went from Disney's next princess to a name they've scrubbed from the story. No farewell, no closure, just deletion. And if you think that's harsh, remember, this is Disney, a brand built on fantasy, perfection, and pristine illusions. When those illusions crack, they don't fix them, they replace them. So the only question left now is, will Rachel rise again with a new image, a new plan, or will her name quietly fade into Disney's long list of forgotten stars? Time will tell, but based on the silence so far, this fairy tale has already been canceled.